So this one, I wasn't particularly fond of seeing, and it's mainly having to do with the movies and how progressively worse they get with each new one. First one, no doubt, starts on a high note. It's a marvel. It's a marvel to look at still today. And it's just from the simple fact that while they did rely on CGI for the T-Rex, they still had plenty of shots that were actually real, and the actors were actually touching it. The mix between CGI and practical effects makes it so you never get used to seeing the dinosaurs. The second one is a far fall from grace, with the previous cast being reduced to cameos, plot holes, and the kid who, for some reason, they decided to have kill a raptor with her gymnastics cheerleading skills. Pretty sure the second one came out today, you would have all those YouTuber grifters talk about DEI and woke hire for the girl. The third one is a return to form, and for some reason, people say is the worst, all because the T-Rex dies. I would argue it's one of the better ones. The fourth one brought renewal revival to the franchise. Yeah, it was mostly CGI, instead of a mix between the practical effects, but they were finally getting the dinosaurs out into the real world. Fifth and sixth one promises it, has some cool shots, but only hints of it, and ultimately, just to return to the island. They are making another one, and haven't seen the trailer, but my expectations are so low they are underground. Jurassic Park to me is a dead franchise. Started out strong, but ultimately fizzled out and now relies on gimmicks, expensive cameos, and VFX. I don't want to hold that against the show since it's just a byproduct of the movies, but it still has to carry that weight because it has the fourth movie in it and the baggage it has to carry. But let us begin with this review of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Hidden Adventure. Man, that's a mouthful. So our story starts with our protag waking up in a dinosaur nest after an all-night bender. Nah, it was the storm. Protag starts to escape, but has to decide how to escape. This is where I will give some credit for some creative decisions. Normally, we are in third-person mode and get a choice to make, or the character looks at you. This one, we enter first-person mode for the main character, and then have to choose which one you want to go with. It does give a unique look to it, if you will. Anyway, doesn't matter because the first choice is normally the tutorial. Depending on the choice, you run into different characters. They regroup, and it's explained that the protag, Darius, was looking for food. Giant storm happened, and that's how he ended up in the nest. Second choice happens when more dinosaurs show up, and you have to decide to wait it out or run for it. You only have one choice since the other... Yeah. They get back to camp where they look at the device that Darius found. Bit of a plot convenience for that camcorder to be functioning and still have a good battery after being in the woods. But it's a plot device, I will let it slide. What I will not let slide is this.
I thought they stopped making them.
Can anybody find the on button?
Let me do it. I love retro tech.
Screw you, e-girl. So what's on the tape? This guy, Dr. Brimford, asking for some guys to give a message to Chris Pratt, but they just throw it into the raptor cage. You then get to decide to take Bumpy, this guy, with you or not. Either choice gets you to the note, just depends on if you want more dinosaurs in your adventure. After playing with the dinosaurs for a little, they finally read the note. Again, plot convenience for this note to still be there, since apparently a storm came through here last night. The note tells them to head over to Hidden Adventure, but the kids don't know where it is, so now they have to choose between going to the security office or Main Street. This is where they are starting to deviate a little. The Main Street is the quickest, and you also get binoculars that you can use later. The only thing that happens is nostalgia, like, remember this place? Or this place? Remember this? Or remember the T-Rex? The only choice you make is the one to grab the map that you lost, but if you feel like punishing Darius, you can. The security office one brings us to the tunnels, and you could get a few more choices here. Still end up in the same place, but you will get more action scenes. This one leads to the office, and you learn more about Dr. Brimford's firing, and where Hidden Adventure is. A part of the park that never opened. You are attacked by a group of combies, and have to decide to block the vent for the group, or save Kenji. Depends how much you like him. Personally, I go with a let them eat him. After getting out of the office, now you have to get out of the tunnels. But it's blocked by another dinosaur, and another choice. Go back or sneak past. Again, only one choice. They get out, and now the different paths intersect again, with more nostalgia. The gyrospheres. Remember the gyrospheres? Another one-choice option, and I kinda hate Darius for being dumb. Why? Because one of the gyrospheres is running out of power, and you gotta figure out a way to help them. You can bump them out of the way, or bump the dinos. And Darius doesn't want to bump the dinos because he might hurt them. Really, man? You might hurt them? That's just stupid. I could probably take getting hit by this ball. So you bump the dinos and, oh look, they survived. How wonderful. You find the hidden attraction and start up the park, which only reminds me of this scene from Zombieland. Another choice that has no bearing on the plot, but will give you information on how to get past the dinosaurs coming. They see an ad for the roller coaster, and I start to wonder, is this native advertising? Like, was all this made to advertise for the Velocicoaster that came out in 2021? The series was still going for another year, and the interactive did not come out until 2022. Maybe? Animation does take a while, and the ride was delayed a few months, but the name and ride layout are all different. You decide. Is this just part of the show, or did they try to turn an ad into an episode? That's right, we're doing interactives inside the interactive. So they figured the clue Brimford was talking about can only be seen on the roller coaster. But then the Tarbo shows up, and they have to decide if they take the coaster, or they try to escape like bitches. If you choose to escape, you are stuck in a car that is just an automated car ride with animatronics. The Tarbo shows, and one more choice to make: follow the path, or take the emergency exit. One is death, and the other gives you another chance to find what Brimford left for them. And again, you could choose the treasure, or run away like little bitches. Again, they escape this time back to their campsite and think of different strategies, and we end it here. You could also try to distract the dinos, and while the dinosaurs are fighting, the kids somehow manage to get into the bunker and get away with some supplies. They get back to the campsite, and that is also an ending, just with a little bit of food. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, they are doing all this for some extra supplies. At least they're doing something productive. The other path to go down, and is the more advertised one, is to actually get on the coaster. They get on the coaster, and using binoculars, they find where the bunker is. You can only get those on one of the paths though, so how did you get them if you went down the tunnel? Your plot holes are starting to show. They also figure out why the Tarbo has been following them. The Tarbo has been following Darius, because of the scent that he has from sleeping in the nest that he was found at the beginning. Another choice to make is to either wash off the scent or escape. Escape results in death. So, time to take a bath. They make their way back and find the bunker, but the Tarbo is just stalking them, and they need to figure out the code to unlock it. Like I said before, they need a code to get into it, and they did it off screen in the other one. So they have 3 codes to choose from, the correct being 2005. The other codes result in death. So they get in, and this is probably the best ending. You get a safe house on the island, and some food that could last a few weeks. My only complaint is, where's the booze?
But in the meantime, could somebody please pass me a juice pack?
Seriously, where's the booze?
The only added lore is in the best ending, where you get another recorded message from Dr. Brimford. He apparently found out that people on the island were playing mix and match with dinosaur DNA and was trying to get the word out about it. Yeah, just the usual messaging in Jurassic Park, don't play God, yada yada yada. After everything that has happened on the island, the kids should honestly move into the safe house. Yeah, you only get 1 bed, but indoors, air conditioned, hidden, adventure. So Jurassic World Interactive, how was it? It wasn't exactly the best one. The endings, there are only 3 valid ones. I do appreciate that the kids can at least die in some of them. I kinda get why they have to live. The special supposedly takes place between season 2 and 3. The kids have to live to make it to the final season. I will say, I do also like whenever you die, which you can die a lot, they give you a cute animation of Mr. DNA and have you restart or try another option. The choices felt like they didn't really matter. You could go down a different path, but they all end up in the same place. And with my disposition already at the Jurassic franchise and that possible ad, I just don't have much wiggle room for a suspension of disbelief or willingness for the BS. By the way, this video is sponsored by the Velocicoaster.
Brave the hunt on the apex predator of coasters. Jurassic World Velocicoaster. Only at Universal Orlando Resort.
But I do have to remember that this is a kids show, and they do at least acknowledge death in the show, as well as the movie's events. I don't think this one will be one to visit again, but I could see my niece getting into it if she could handle diet horror. So if I were to give this a rating, I would give it a McDonald's Quarter Pounder. It's mass produced, has subpar ingredients, probably made by a high teenager, but it is edible, and might have a chance of being really good. Camp Cretaceous Hidden Adventure. Not the interactive you wanted, but it's the only one that you and the kids can agree on. So yeah, another meh interactive. This one just felt like it was playing it safe. So instead of a poll on this interactive, how about which interactive would you rather see as opposed to this? The left one or the right one? I think Captain Underpants might be the one up there. Or maybe it's Spirit. I swear to God, if it's that Trivia Quest one, I am burning something down. Oh yeah, right. Choose one. Choose one now, please.